Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Let's wait for a few minutes. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to online meetup, Swift Bengaluru. Today, we are going to discuss about the two different talks, and it will be useful for Swift developers. Welcome, Namaskara. Before we get started, a special thanks to all of you. The crazy ones will think different. And here, Swift Bengaluru. All right, a little bit of Swift everywhere, the Swift language, the speed, and a bit of pop culture. Here's Apple's Swift programming language. Let's get started. Today, we have an agenda, two talks followed by networking and discussion, open discussion to all. Today, we have an amazing guest joining us today to talk about automation in iOS development. And Kaveri Patil is an iOS developer at Society General, and she is currently building a developer tool to improve everyday's workflows. She'll be talking on the topic build your own Xcode plugin to automate iOS development. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Kaveri.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Kanaga. Thank you everyone. Yes. I can take the screen and begin at the moment.
Yeah.
Alright, sure. Just give me a minute. Let me take the screen. Just a moment. Just a second. One moment, please. It's taking longer than usual.
Then no problem.
All right. Some technical difficulties. My system is stuck. So sorry for the technical difficulties. Can we begin with the next, and maybe I'll fix it in a moment and come back if that is okay?
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
Thank you.
So due to the technical difficulties, we are going with the next speaker, Ratnesh Jain, a senior iOS engineer who is currently building a Swift Talks application. So he'll be speaking about mastering Swift Package Manager, a topic that is becoming increasingly important for the modern iOS development. Please join me in welcoming Ratnesh.
Hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so hello everyone. Myself Ratnesh, and today I'm going to talk about Swift Package Manager. So today I'll talk about why Swift Package Manager, how to create Swift Package Manager, and what are the like how what are the Swift sorry, I'm getting nervous here. So I'll talk about the access modifier, what is the Swift package manifest, how what are the terminologies used inside the package manager, and how to how to handle dependencies and how to work with package manager and Xcode, and sharing resources, and how to deal with non SPM external dependencies. So I'll start with why Swift Package Manager. So Swift Package Manager are generally known as dependency management tool. This is the first party tool by Apple. So we use it for integrating libraries of common use or general purpose, like Alamofire for networking, SD web image for image, rendering remote image, and IQ Keyboard Manager for the handling the keyboard, and many more other general purpose and common use libraries are there that we use in our projects in day-to-day work. So other than that, Swift Package Manager can also be used to develop the application. It can be used to organize your code, have a clear modular architecture. You can build isolated feature and testable features using this. So as you can see, this is the SwiftTalks project. It is built using Swift packages. The benefit is that you can compile your individual feature independently. So you can also build and run, and you can also have a live preview working. Uh, and you can use the latest preview macro to preview whatever your screen or feature screen is. And you can also use the accessibility controls from the Xcode previews, like you can control the color schemes from dark to light. And you can also check your screens from orientation for like landscape or portrait. And you can also check for dynamic type if how your screen is looking when the font size is very large. And you can also control what data it is showing. Like I have this preview data in here. So other than that, using the package manager for local package manager for application development forces you to think in isolation. So it can provide a very clear picture of what functions or what variables should be public and what can be private. It by default encourage you to write testable code, and you can control your dependencies. So only the dependency that is needed for feature you can control via code. So before we can write any packages, we should be get a refresher on what are the access modifiers. So you may know that they are used for provide a visibility like you that allows us to be what APIs can be visible, readable, subclassable, or overridable. So you may be familiar with private, file private, internal, public, or open. But when we are working in packages, we also have another access modifier called package. So private is the most secure one, most restricted access modifier that we can use within the scope itself. Uh, sorry. And the file private, that is a scope is more broader than the private, which we can use inside the file, not outside the file, only inside the file. And if we are not writing anything, by default is internal, so we can access within the project scope. And when we are writing inside a package, we also have the package. So it is very similar to internal, but it is for the packages. So outside of package, we cannot use it because and then if you wanted to make it available outside of the package, we can make it mark it public. So it will be accessible to everyone, but it cannot be subclassable or overridable. To make it subclassable or overridable, we need to mark it as a open. So these are the general reflection of the package access modifier. The second is package manifest, where it all begins. So when we create a package, it creates a default package.swift file. In the first line is a comment, which is very important. So it defines what Swift tool version we are using for this package. So in this example, it is 5.10, and this is not the Swift language version; it is the Swift tool version. And then we import the Swift package description, and we have that package initializer with the name of the package, what the products of these packages are, and the targets this package is support. Then let's come to the vocabulary of the package or terminology used by the Swift package manager. So let's start with some code. So when we write a code, it will be always in a Swift file, right? Fetching view.swift. And we can have this file inside a folder called fetching view feature. And this is the feature we can write any name for it, but this should be inside in the sources folder. So and this whole thing becomes a package, a very simple package, Swift package. And so this feature called Swift fetching view feature is called target, which we mention in the package.swift file. And after it compiles, it becomes a module. Okay, so this is the Swift feature. Fetching view feature is a target, and after compilation, it becomes a module. So inside the package manifest file, we always write target, and the name should be matching with the folder name that we have given, right? And this target can also become a product, a library product. So with the multiple targets, we can have a library, we can have an executable, or we can have a plugin. So for the plugin, it should be inside the plugins folder, not the sources folder. So these products can be used, like libraries can be used in your Xcode projects. Executable can be used from the command line tool, and plugins are used for the Xcode package plugins. And this library and executable can also be used by other packages or other libraries. Then let's talk about the dependencies. So whenever we have this code and we write import some package, some third-party library like LMFire. So this is the dependency of this file. Okay, so for this, we can write dependencies like this. So because we are fetching from other library, so it is maybe stored in a GitHub. So we have to write the package URL and the version of major version or minor version. So where this is the URL that LMFI is stored, and this is the major version. So from where we will get this information. So if we open the GitHub LMFI GitHub page, in the README, we can find this instruction like package, the URL, and the next major version. So that's fine. We can use this. But in some packages, it doesn't have anything how to integrate this. So make sure we have package.swift file, and it has the releases tags. So when we click on the tags, it should have at least one. So we can use in this, for example, we have 0.0.5, the latest one. So we can use that. So just copy the URL of the GitHub, and we can write that using the same syntax, and we can write the latest release tag in the next major version. And very important step, we need to save this. And once we save this, you should see something like this: reloading package, mastering SwiftPM. And after it done loading, you can see the packages are downloaded on the left side, called under the package dependency section. So you can see LMFire and asset plugin library. But you will also see this warning, and it is an important warning. So it's okay. Let's read this. Otherwise, it will give us a compiler error, like no such module LMFire. So to have this, to fix this warning, we just need to, you can see the error as well. The dependency LMFire is not used by any targets. So for this, we can write the dependency inside the target. So we are depending on a product name LMFire from the package LMFire. So there are two LMFire here in this. So which is which? So let's understand that. So the package is like github.com LMFire.git. And so this is the author of that library. So when we open the LMFR package and the package.readme, package.swift file, we can see the package name is LMFR. Okay, and this package comes with two products, two libraries, LMFR and LMFR Dynamic. So the library name will be go here, the product name, right? Because it is the library product. So this is how we will have the dependency in the fetching view feature. And so these are called package dependencies, and these are called target dependencies. Okay. So yeah, so a product of the package dependency is LMFI, and we are linking that to our target dependency. We can also have another target as a dependency, like resources that we will cover soon. So other target can also be the dependency of other targets. So we can also have our target as a library product, So in this example, you can see we have fetching view feature as a library product. So the target name should be matching, but the target library name can be independent. So this is the dependency. So source code and dependencies becomes our target. And after the compilation, it becomes module. And when we are declaring the package manifest, we can declare as a library, and the consumer will call it as a product. Then how we will integrate with the Xcode. So this is the local package. So we can just drag and drop our package after the first mastering Swift package example project item here. So then inside our main target, which is the project target, we can import from inside the frameworks, libraries, and embedded content section. We can click plus here, and then we will see a pop-up coming for choose a framework or library to add. So we have the Swift mastering Swift VM package, and inside we have a product called fetching view feature. So we can just select and add that. So this is how we import the package, and then we can import inside our code, and we can use that public APIs. Then how do we share resources? So resources by mean assets, fonts, core data objects, and other resources. So let's start with assets. So we can create the same, we can use the same procedure. We can create a folder inside resources called resources, and we add a file of type asset catalog. So this is the file, and to use is to share with other users of this library, we can also have a target for the resources. And we save this. So Xcode will know that there is another target that we need to compile and build. So after this, we will get this error. Public header include directory path for resources is invalid or not contained any target. So this means that to fix this error, we just need an empty Swift file or any other file. And after that, we can import our images in the media asset library. And then we can just use like a simple image autocomplete. So it will generate autocomplete for all the assets we have. But there's a catch. So this is Xcode generate these symbols inside the derived data and in the file called generated asset symbol. But they don't mark it as a public. So this is a problem, so that we cannot use outside of the package because it is not public. So by default, it's all internal, so it will not be accessible outside of the package. So I have another. I used another a target dependency. Package dependency. This is my own library. It is using Swift package plugin. So I have this asset plugin library. And as I just declare and save the package manifest file, you can see it is loaded, and it is also have a product, and this product is now is a type plugin. So this is the package plugin, and then when we right click on our package main file, you will see that generate asset resource action there command. And when we click it, it will Xcode will present a pop-up, but we don't see the resources target in here. So to make it available, we need to also make a product from that same resources target. So I called it resources library from the target resources. And as I save it and then click again for the generate asset plugin, then it will show the resources. So it will ask me to confirm my command and allow to change, because this will generate a file. So we need to allow this to change file. And after that, it will create a file called asset resource, and it will mark all the available media files in the media assets file and mark it as a public. And so you can see all the images, symbols are there generated. And it also comes with the convenient initializer for UI kit and Swift UI image. So after that, how can we package some fonts inside the package? So it is not straightforward as we use custom font in normal Xcode project. Uh, so inside a package, we need to. So let's start with the regular procedure. We create. So add font file to the target directory, and so we I'm getting ahead myself. Sorry. So we create the same procedure, like we create a new folder called fonts inside the sources, and we added the fonts file, .ttf file, and the files, and an empty file for the Swift package manager to get rid, to don't throw that error. So we added the font file directly to the target directory. And these are the TTF files, font files. And so as we add this, there is another like a bundle called module. So it will be created. So after that, we need to register .fonts using the core text font manager types. And then we can, like there are two variants. We can directly use the fonts or fonts from the URL, and then we will get the font family, and then we can use those. So this is the code for registering the font. So first of all, we need to get the URL for the font file. So we'll get from the bundle uh, for resources with extension. And after that, we register them with city font manager, register fonts from URL. And sometimes we also wanted to check the unregistration. So this is the convenient function to unregister this fonts. So we can like to check if our fonts are registered and available to use. We can have this function which prints all the font families available on the device. So you can see output like this in the terminal. So these are our fonts that that custom fonts we wanted to use. So we just copy these names and create a simple enum with the name of this file with a weight. So I created some other helper function to just register for those fonts, and then we can use these, like we can import the fonts and we can use like any other fonts we use, and we can preview this. So to preview, we first need to register because preview runs on a different process. Okay, sorry, I'm getting it. So preview runs on a different process. So we explicitly need to register inside. You can see the preview macro, and we have the UI font that register right. So because preview runs on a different project, we need to first also register here. Now, how do we share core data? So the same process, we create a new folder in sources directory. We have an empty Swift file. Then we can create XC data model D file for the core data models. For sometimes Xcode has a bug. It doesn't identify this thing. So we can restart the Xcode, and we add some entities. We set the code generation, and then we set the global namespace module, and then we can create an instance type. So these are the core data entities, and this is the persistent model, and this is how you can use it. So you can just use as a normal, just you need to import, and then you can query the fetch request and query the view context and save the context. So this is how you use core data inside the package. And there are also files that are by default supported. So any images, storyboard, or localization files, and Objective-C and C++ files are also supported in SPM. So this is how we share resources. How do we deal with external like non-SPM supported external dependencies? Like we used to have Cocoa ports or Carthage, or we have direct binary framework or SDK. So the idea is that we understand the feature, what the APIs are there in that dependency. We align what the APIs are like matching with our requirement. then we use some abstraction pattern, and then we can like a protocol or protocol business, and then we can use dependency injection or environment to use tools. So, for example, I have this feature that I wanted to have. So, if some song is playing, I want to identify using SDK, and I want to get these the song information like who is the singer and what song title is. So, same we can so this is the framework that is like a paid framework. So it don't have source code available. So it is a binary framework. But we have the public header files, and these are the APIs it provides. But after analyzing, I identified that I only need 3 APIs. So I'll just use those. So I created a protocol for those APIs, and I can have a default implementation, and inside the main app target I can implement this protocol with the existing with this binary framework, and then these are the same code, and then we can use the dependency management system to pass the dependency across our app, or we can use the normal Swift UI dependency system as well for this. So as long as we have a protocol to handle this, we can use those external non-STM dependencies inside it. So to know more about this, about the packages, these are the resources from Apple developer website and their WWDC sessions. And outside of Apple, there are also some really good articles that they share their knowledge about the using local Swift packages. And this is it. This is how you master the Swift package manager. And I'm Ratnesh. I'm building Swift Talks, and I'm also part of Swift and our community. Uh, Thank you. Thank you all for listening me today. Thank you, Sabapati and Swift Bangalore team for inviting me today. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ratnesh, this talk. And yeah, so it's a great insight into the Swift package manager. And also, you have elaborated about the core data into the SPM
Yes.
and managing the dependencies more effectively. So, yeah, do you have any questions? If you have, please post it in the chat. Ratnesh can answer it.
Sure.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, hi, Ratnesh. Actually, do we have any public link? What you developed, any SPM?
Uh, you mean the project that I am building, like using the local SPM?
As a GitHub link, kind of?
Yeah, I will share this resources later so that you
Am I
can
audible?
refer all the links.
Hi, Ratnesh.
Yeah,
It was
hi.
really great presentation. So I have one doubt regarding the SPMs.
Yes.
So we usually have the extension services, right? So something like for the notifications and for the widgets.
Yes.
So how easy are we like accessible? How easy we can access this attached SPM into those
Yes.
services?
Yes. Yes. So, if we are building, for example, widget extension, so we need to create a separate target, right?
Yes.
But the source code that we wanted to interact with those libraries like widget kit, we can write inside a package target, right? Package module. And then inside the Xcode target for the widget, we can import those.
Actually, I'm currently facing this issue when so actually so we have a core library, okay,
Yes.
where the calls, network calls, login,
Yes.
logout, all the session
Yes.
data, everything will be available in the core library, which will be added via SPM. So
Sure.
for building the notification text within the extension target, we need to access the core data. But
Yes.
that whenever we add the framework, and when we try to import the same core, always we are getting the errors. So
Yeah.
that's yes,
I'm sharing my screen. Can you see it?
yes.
So
Yeah.
inside the Swift Talks, I also have widget for live activity and notification. So let me share it. Yeah. So you can see that target, right? Uh,
Yes.
I, am I zooming? It is more visible.
Is
Yeah.
it
So you
better?
can see. Uh,
It's okay. Please continue.
Yeah, so you can see that I have a main target for the application and widget and notification target, right? So
Yes.
what I did is so we have to create this a target, right? So it will give us the folders, right? So
Mhm.
for inside the dependency system, so the Swift packages all like have this framework library, but we can also import from this. So you can see the shared model from this, right? So this
Yes.
shared model is from the package itself. So shared model. So this is the common type that I wanted to share between my application and widget. So I created a package a target called share model, and inside the package library, I have where is the library? Okay, so products I have added as a library. Okay, so whatever common code that I want, or any specific code that I wanted, that I can create a package library and then we can import inside our main target. So you can see that I have imported shared models. This is
Yes.
how I'm managing right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope that answers.
Yes. Thanks, Ratnesh.
Hi, Ratnesh.
Hi.
I just have one question. With the SPM, I have seen with the Firebase we can create analysis or with analytics. Is there any custom
Yes.
way or better option we can have other than this Firebase, or any better way we can use more effectively with the Firebase?
Yeah, so the Firebase package is really large, and when we use it inside a package, and it breaks this with and like Xcode previews very well. So when we have that direct dependency of Firebase APIs, it creates a really so compile time is very high because of that. It needs to compile all the Firebase. So let me share my screen again. I have that use case as well. Um, is it visible, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, yes, sir. So I also using Firebase here. So this is the main packet dependency that Firebase iOS SDK. Okay, and you may have feel that Firebase SDK is very huge, so it is very heavy to use inside a pack. So what we can do is I have these two targets: Firebase service. Here it is: Firebase service and Firebase services live. So what I have inside is just a protocol declaration that what APIs I wanted to use from the Firebase, like for logging events, deleting a Firebase item, updating an item, getting the update from the collection or documents, login anonymously. So I don't have any implementation here, and I also have like a static no operation thing here. So whenever I wanted to use the Firebase, I only inside the package I only import Firebase service. So Firebase, you can see other package dependency only have Firebase service, and the Firebase service live is only linked to the main application target where everything needs to compile. So
Okay,
this is how I am using the abstraction technique that I showed in the presentation. So you can
okay,
create an abstraction protocol and use it
okay,
inside your normal small features. And when you wanted to have all it, you can link it to the very top.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Ratnesh, I have one question regarding, I just want to continue the same thing. Like when you say you
Yes.
will create a protocol, how do you
Yes.
inject that protocol into your SPM via dependency inversion?
Yeah, you can
Or
use
you,
dependency injection or environment, secure environment. Uh, for this project, I am using composable architecture, so it has a dependency system in it. So for this project, I am using it. But if we have other dependency injection mechanism or libraries, we can use the same.
but when you say environment, so
Yes.
environment needs concrete object. We can't pass the
Yeah,
protocol
yeah, yeah,
object.
exactly. So at the very top, when your application is about to run inside app delegate or Swift UI entry point, it has to be
Mhm.
a concrete object. So we can pass the environment from that point, right? So we can use the protocol everywhere in code, but the concrete object will be at the start of the application or
But
wherever it needs to be initialized, right?
but when you say we are passing concrete object, right? So let's
Yes.
say from the app delete, you are passing concrete object. Let's say
Ex-
my Firebase
yes.
impl.
Yes.
And while you want to access that environment inside your SPM, you will
Yes.
declare it as at the rate environment my Firebase protocol dot self. You won't be able to do
Yes.
that, right?
Yes.
You will need the impl dot self.
Yeah. So the thing is, you define your structure, but
Mhm.
the instance will be created at the runtime, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like when you are writing your code, it will not be running like inside the preview as well. So you can create an no operation default structure. So you use that information all over your package when you are previewing or testing. But at the runtime, you change that object with the other implementation of the same protocol at the
Got it.
runtime, at the app delegate time, right?
Okay,
So
so okay, got it. So basically, you are following the environment object instead of
yeah.
some plugin or some any
Yeah.
dependencies or
So
to the
yeah. So to make it more clear, so you have two instances. One is that actual implementation that uses that live library. Another
correct,
is like a default no operation value,
correct.
right? So
So
at the
yeah,
runtime, you change the both because both are talking the same protocol language, same having same protocol
yes, yes.
methods. So there will not be any conflict.
Okay, one more. Just want to understand one more point right here. Since we are talking about,
Yes.
we have two options. One is you pass it via environment, or second
Yes.
option which I can think of is uh, all the SPM. So we have to take some external dependencies into inside your SPM, right? So do you think plugin approach will be more beneficial here?
Plugin means the Swift package plugin or
Not, oh,
Xcode.
sorry, not Swift package plugin nor Xcode plugin. A simple class, let's say my SPM plugins, which will
Uh,
take these two, three external dependencies via protocol. In the initializer, you
mm,
will pass it. And
yeah.
from the application, the let's say app delegate or wherever you are setting all these external dependencies, you will pass the concrete object to your SPM's initializer.
Yes. Yeah, that is the initializer dependency you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
use.
So, and how do you decide whether we should use that approach versus environment? And do you think is there any advantages, disadvantages of using plugin over environment or the vice versa?
It depends on your architecture of choice. Whatever your team feels can be usable.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ratnesh, once again. So, if you still have questions, you can reach out to Ratnesh on LinkedIn. Let me share my
Thanks.
screen. Yeah, thank you. Um, Is Kaveri available? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you please share your screen? Yeah.
Yes, sure. Um, all right, sharing the screen. One moment. Yes, is my screen visible?
Yes, Kaveri. Yeah,
Okay.
you please go ahead. Thank you.
Sure. Firstly, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kaveri. I'm an iOS developer. And for the next 20 to 30 minutes, we are going to discuss something that might feel a bit old school for 2026. We are going to make Xcode, not an AI assistant, not your cloud service, just an Xcode itself to do boring parts of your day-to-day job for you. We already heard Ratnesh speaking about Swift package managers. Yes, we will be touching Swift package plugins in this talk. So before we start, thank you to Swift Bangalore community and thanks to the organizers for having me here. Yeah, we'll start with what plugins are, build one, and probably end with one buzzing question. Everyone would be thinking, if there is AI, why do we need plugins to automate the code, right? So we'll get there. All right. Okay. Um, yeah. So before we start, I just want a quick raise in hands or show of hands. This week, how many of you all copy pasted a view model as well as test skeleton for few screens or a new screen, and maybe leave the same code review comment for nth number of time, or run the same pre-commit script by manually because nobody has set up the hook, or let's say use wished. Swiftland had extra rule for your team style. So anyone has done this for last 1 week or 2 weeks? Um, I won't be able to see the raise of hands, but I'm assuming everyone would have done that. And if you have raised hands or been there in any one of the situation, I think I call it as a copy paste tax. So you have been paying copy paste tax, right? So before I explain how we can avoid that, I just want to show a quick demo on something where I have a JSON file and I don't want to manually sit and create a data model. I want my Xcode to see the JSON file and create a data model for me. So here, if you see, okay, is my screen stuck or?
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
on the page.
The first page.
Okay.
Yeah, screen is not changing.
All right, one moment.
Yeah.
Let me stop and reshare. That should help. How about now?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
we can see.
Okay. Um, yes, I'll quickly play this. Here I have a, just a second. Yeah. Hope is it okay now?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Before I move in to Swift package plugins, I just want to quickly show a demo. I have a JSON raw JSON file, and I want a data model, as I was saying. So I'll quickly play this, and you all can see. There's this raw JSON which has nested JSON within it. I create a generate. I mean, I already have the plugin. I'll just give in the arguments, use this user JSON and create me user profile model. So this is a simple command, right? And it will ask me for the permission, whether I can modify the files. I give yes. And then you can see user profile model is created. So it hardly took what, like 30 seconds or maybe 60 seconds. But anyway, it was less than a minute, right? It was much easier than manually writing each and everything and creating a data model. So such complex, not complex tasks, such task where we don't need much of a thinking. So these plugins can automate for us. It was just a simple basic example on how to create a data model, but you can do a lot with this. You can create your architect. If you're following MVVM, you can create your view model, and then if you want tests, you can create tests. So there's a lot you can do with this. Okay. And how did we achieve this? So this is where today's talk is all about. So we just added one command and that's it. By the end of the command, uh, we were able to get, I mean, by just running the command, we were able to get the complete data model. So I believe by end of this talk, every single line, whatever we entered or whatever we did in the screen will make sense. So we'll get back to this demo later. Now the answer, yes, as you all might be thinking, yes, it is existing today and it has been existing since 2022. But I would say it is so underused. That is Swift package plugins. So what are plugins? It's basically a simple Swift program that runs inside your build workflow. So whenever you're creating a build workflow, it runs within your build workflow. It ships as a Swift package and it's versioned within your code. So there's no external runtime, there's no extra install. All you have to do is create this plugin and use within your application. So when did this land? This landed with Swift 5.6 back in 2022. So it's not new, it's not beta. It's been in your toolchain for almost 4 years now. But as I said, it is so underused. And there are exactly two kinds. One is build tool plugin and one is command plugin. We'll talk about these flavors in a minute, going further. And then, as I mentioned, no external tools required, zero Ruby runtimes, zero node installs. So it's completely Swift, right? And before we go into how they work, let's address the obvious pushback. I mean, all of us might be thinking, why not use scripts, right? Why bother to create a plugin and then use it? So yes, we do have an obvious answer. So why plugin specifically is your automation doesn't live outside. So any developer who is working on the project, you don't have to extract it or search for some other folder. So it lives within your workflow, and it doesn't go out. So that's the one good reason why we can use why we need to use Swift package plugin. And also it is Swift, right? So you don't have to learn a different language, you don't have to learn Ruby, you don't have to learn something else just to automate your workflow. So since you already know Swift, it is as simple as that. So everything is versioned within your code. So you build the code, you version it, and it runs automatically with the code. So that's it. That's the whole idea why we need Swift package plugins. So when the plugins could be the right answer is, for example, you have for every clone of your repo, uh, you have to add the behavior automatically. For example, linting. You don't have to manually create linting standards or linting rules for every new clone. You want it automatically to be added whenever someone clones your project. So in that case, you can use Swift plugin, and the task is tied to your Swift source tree, like code generation or asset processing, or I was just talking about linting. So all these tasks are tied with your Swift source code, right? So in that case, you can use Swift package plugin. And you also want your results to appear within the Xcode. You don't want it to appear in the runtime, or you don't want a report to be created, because as a developer, I'll be working on the Xcode. I want whatever warnings or errors is there to appear on Xcode so that I can quickly fix it. So in that case, you can use Swift package plugin. Well, when not to use Swift plugin is, let's say you have a task running in CI only, and not on a developer laptop or developer system. In that case, you can use Fastlane or Makefile, which is simpler. And if your only goal is to make it as a personal productivity helper, then I believe there are a lot of extensions. There are extensions like Copilot, Cursor, which you can use it. Yeah. And now let's dive into the technicalities. As I was saying, there are two flavors. One is build tool plugin, and one more is your command plugin. The only question you'll ever need to answer before choosing these plugins is, when do I want to use these? When do I want these to run? So flavor one, which we have to talk about, is build tool plugin. So it runs automatically. So whenever the target is built, so along with the build, your plugin will also run. So you don't have to type a command. Earlier in the demo, you were seeing I was entering a command, and then I was choosing a command and then adding the input arguments, and then it was processing and asking permission, right? So that is not the case with build tool plugin. For example, your linting. If you're adding a linting plugin, you don't have to additionally use any commands or use any arguments. Whenever you build the target, automatically it will run along with it. So it's just a simple click. You don't have to do anything there. So you just build your project, and the plugin runs as part of the build. But it has some hard constraints, of course. So as you can see on the screen, you cannot write to your source tree. You cannot create new files, only to a temp working directory which Swift package manager gives you. And you cannot access the network, so you cannot ask for the permission. You cannot prompt the user. It just runs. So what is the alternate solution for that? For that, you have command plugins. It runs on demand. It won't automatically run. So whenever a developer explicitly asks for it to run, it will run. So you type either in the command line interface, you give the command Swift package my command, or as you saw in the demo, I just went to the menu and selected the command, and you click on run. So there are two options. So the capabilities here would be, you can request permission to write to your source tree directly, your source code, as I wrote the data model within my project directly, right? So you can ask the permission from the developer, and then you have to declare it in package Swift. We will go to the package Swift later, how we can achieve this from the start, how we create the plugin, how we use the plugin. So yeah, that's about it, about the two flavors. And then now coming to the anatomy of these plugins, yes, there are three pieces. So usually whenever someone start with creating the plugin, this is the most confusing part. Why do we need three pieces, right? Or three separate things in your package? Because they all have different responsibilities altogether. Coming to package Swift, this is just a metadata. You just have to mention your permissions, name of the plugin, and type of the plugin. It's not the code that runs, it's just a configuration configuration that tells Swift Package Manager a plugin exists. That's it. And then you have actual plugin. It's just a small Swift file. Its job is to pass the user arguments and then launch a tool. By tool, I mean here is your executable file. So it will launch your executable. That's it. It's basically, you can consider it like air traffic controller. It's not a pilot, but it will just control the flights coming in and coming out. That's it. That's the only job of plugin. And then you have your executable. Here the actual work happens, the real work, and it's completely Swift. And all you have to do is just import foundation, and then you'll get the full access, and write whatever logic you want to create the files or whatever it is. So yeah, why three pieces and why not one? The answer is very obvious. One is security reason. It's one of the main reason. So let's say a teammate is reviewing your PR, right? And he reads package.swift. So he or she will be in a quick glance be able to see what all permissions you are actually requesting. So it's in a quick glance, they'll be able to see within package.swift. And also for testability, as I mentioned, executable is a simple Swift file. So you can also test it along with your Swift run standalone Swift project. Instead of package, you can just test it with your Xcode project or anything. So it's just the same behavior and same code. And also, if you remember, iOS uses these app extensions, right? It's the same behavior, how we declare the capabilities in the info plist file and then let extension run in a sandbox. It's a similar pattern how we go about. Yeah, this is a simple anatomy. And if there are any questions on this, we'll take at the end. All right. Meanwhile, you can drop your questions in the chat. I'll be happy to take it at the end. Now how it all works. So we chose a command, and then we added the arguments, and then there was a file. But how did it actually happen? We have to go under the hood and see how it works, right? So there are basically 5 steps. First step is, as a developer, I type in Swift package generate Swift model. So this generate Swift model is basically my plugin name. Either I do this or I go to the Xcode menu, and you saw in the demo, I just selected a command, right? So there are 2 options. One is command line interface, one is directly through Xcode. So if you're like comfortable using commands, then go ahead with CLI. Otherwise, you can quickly get it through Xcode. So firstly, you user types or clicks it in Xcode. It's the same thing, different entry point. And after the first step, your Swift package manager will read package.swift. You'll be creating a package.swift. It finds your plugin declaration and also checks for the permission. And then the plugin runs in a sandbox. You have a sandbox there, the plugin runs. It will parse the arguments, whatever the user has passed. For example, I had passed the raw JSON file as an argument. So it will parse the raw JSON file. And then the next step happens. That is, the plugin calls context tool. That is your executable is called. Swift package manager hands back a path to our pre-built executable. Whatever executable we have written, it requires some arguments to process it and maybe transform the data into something useful, right? So that part is done by Swift package manager. And then finally, the executable does its thing. It will read the arguments, and it will create the files. If that is your end goal, it will create the file, and you'll be able to see the result on the Xcode. Now, all these 5 steps, you don't have to manually do it. It is your Swift package manager that will handle all of this for you. All right. But what you have to write, we'll go about that in the next slide. Yeah. So whenever you're designing a command plugin, first step is you declare the plugin. Where do you declare the plugin? In your package.swift, you declare your plugin. So this is just a metadata. As I mentioned, it's just a configuration which you'll be setting, not exact code, what to do. So whenever you are designing, first create this plugin. In the plugin, as you see, the first line is plugin.name, right? Sorry, .plugin name. So name parameter, basically it's your plugin. How do I say? It's just a name for your plugin, whatever you are declaring in the plugin target. So it's as similar to whenever you're declaring a library or executable, you just give it name, right? So it's as simple as that. And then in the second line, if you see here, you have capability with dot command. As I was saying, there are two types. One is command and one is built-in. So you have to mention what type of plugin it is, whether it is a command plugin or whether it is a build tool plugin. So here in my demo, I was showing it a command plugin. So as you can see, I've mentioned dot command. So this just one word will change the entire personality of your target. Okay. And then you have intent with the verb. Verb is very important. So it will basically help in using within the command line interface or in the Xcode. If you see, this verb will be showed to the developer or a user, whoever is using it. And then a short description. This description is basically for the, okay, one moment, I have to go back. Yeah, so this description is basically what exactly this plugin is doing. You can just keep it simple. It's, for example, my plugin, it will just create a Swift codable structure from the JSON file. That's it. As simple as that. You just have to give the description for your plugin. And then you have permissions. Yes, for the command plugins, you can ask for the permission, either network permission or file writing permission. So you have to specify what kind of permission I need. For my use case, I wanted a permission to add a new file, create a new file and add it in my source. So I asked for write to package directory, and also you have to give the reason. So it's as similar to how in your app you have these permissions, right? For example, I need network permission or I need location permission from the user. You ask for the permission and give the detailed description in the plist or somewhere. So it's as similar to that. You give the permission and then reasoning. Why do we need this permission? So that a developer, whenever he's running this, he'll understand, okay, this is the reason this permission is required. And lastly, we have this dependencies. So this dependencies basically tells your Swift package manager that our plugin depends on this executable. So whenever someone is building the plugin, Swift package manager builds this too. Okay. Yeah, as simple as that. First declare the plugin. So this file is basically your entire public interface of the plugin. So any teammate, whoever is using it, he can open the package.swift, read this and know exactly what our tool can or cannot do. All right. Then we have plugin code itself. Okay, so this is the thing that gets compiled and runs in the sandbox. It would be hardly having some 20 to 50 lines, and let me quickly walk you through that. First and foremost, we have this import package plugin. This is what we need to import in order to get this command plugin protocol. So you import package plugin and post that. It also gives you a diagnostics API along with command plugin protocol. And then we have to generate, in my case, I'm generating the Swift model, and this is the entry point, and that's why we must annotate it with @main. If you don't annotate it with @main, it won't be considered as a entry point for your plugin, and you have to confirm to command plugin. So this is what tells Swift package manager that this is a class to call. All right. And with this confirmation to command plugin, we also have to define this perform command method, which takes two arguments. One is context and other is arguments. So this is a single method we have to implement within this class, within this file, okay, in the plugin. One parameter is your context. It will basically tell what Swift package manager knows about the project, and then arguments, it's what the user or a developer types in. Okay, and within this function, what all you have to do is pass the arguments whatever user has typed, and then find the executable. You have a separate executable file which will actually run the entire thing for you and do the real work. So you have to find that executable, launch it, and pass the arguments whatever you have received along whenever you're launching the executable. And then if there are any errors, report it back to Xcode. That's it. But do you notice there is something missing? There's no file write, there's no network call, there's nothing happening here, right? because all of this happens in your executable file. That code runs in a sandbox, so the plugin cannot do anything by itself. So only superpower is with your executable or tool, where the actual work will be done. Okay. Yeah. On the executable, I have not given the complete code, but you all got what exactly executable will be doing. Then now let's see the video again. Yeah, we have this JSON. You select the command, go to package, right click, select the command, generate Swift model, and then your Swift package manager will resolve everything. It is reading our package.swift right now and finding the plugin and checking the permission we declared. Yeah, the permission, and it will build the executable. And then plugins perform command will be fired. So it extracts your user.json from the arguments, and then it will launch via a process. So once the file appears, you can see that file within your source. So yeah, it's done. So you can create your data model within no time. You can add all the naming conventions, or let's say you have some import structure, or some boilerplate to be added. Everything is baked in within like 60 seconds. All you have to do is one time create this plugin and use it. Yeah, so there's no install step, there's no readme file, it's just in one click. And now let's address the elephant in the room, because I guarantee at least half of you will be thinking, why do we have to do all of this, right? I mean, there's AI which can build me or create me a feature module or create me a data model by just adding the JSON. Yes, I mean, it's a fair question. I agree. I also had been thinking about it for quite a long time now. But I want to answer it honestly. What I come to believe is, plugins and AI, they're not like competitors, they solve different problems. And by different problems, what I mean is, both are the best things to add within your workflows. So you can use both. But before understanding how we can use both, let's understand how they're solving different problems, right? So here's what I think about it. So there are two tools. One is your Swift package plugin, one is your AI plugin, for example, Cloud Code plugin. So they do different jobs altogether. Swift package plugin, mainly you can use it for deterministic output. In my case, I had a JSON and I wanted a model. It was simple. I give this input, you give me this output. It was deterministic, and also it didn't need any online support. It was running offline, and yeah, so it's as simple as that. And then every clone of your repo gets it for free. For example, let's say any new member or a junior is joining your team on Monday, and then by Monday afternoon they have the same tooling as you do. There's nothing additional they have to manually do the setup for this. It's part of your clone. It's part of your source code, and it runs within your CI without AI, without API keys, no rate or token limits. So you can use it as much as possible without thinking much about token limits. And it's actually best for the rules. You actually write it down. For example, styling conventions, template generation, or something which I just did, a model generation, file generation. So for these things where you have the absolute right answers, you can use the Swift package plugin. Now coming to AI or Cloud Code plugin, it's of course flexible and conversational. So it will handle your ambiguous requests. For instance, make me a new feature for users who have notification disabled. So no deterministic tool can actually interpret this, right? So you need something that can be probably predicted on the go and then built. So in that case, you can use AI plugins. And also, if you need to add context, for example, also wire this with the tab bar, this model with the tab bar. So in that case, your plugin doesn't know what your tab bar is, but the entire context your AI plugin will be knowing. So in that case, you can use AI plugin, and it also is best for, as I said, some tasks that needs interpretation, review, or explanation. In that case, you can use AI plugin. However, you can use AI plugin whenever you're building a new feature that will invoke Swift plugin within. So under the hood, you can create your own Swift package plugin, um, but add it within the Cloud Code plugin, for instance. So with this, you can utilize the best of both the worlds. AI decides what deterministic tools will decide, and I mean, it will ensure how you're doing it. So for instance, I you will tell AI, build me a settings feature with a dark mode support. Okay. AI thinks about architecture, whether I have to go with MVVM or MVC or whatever architecture you are using, and it will decide what files to create. Now, while creating this file, it will call your plugin to actually create these files. So your team conventions are also followed, your imports are right, and um, everything whatever you wanted, you'll get it there. So, well, to summarize, yeah, I think that's the best way we can go, in case you need some deterministic thing within your code. You want it to follow the exact conventions or standards. That's about how you can go. And yeah, well, to summarize, I have three things y'all can. I mean, to summarize this, if you even if you forget everything else, these three are main important things from the talk today. One is plugins are just a Swift code, so no Ruby, no runtime, no extra runtime, no framework you haven't seen before. Since you've already been working with Swift, it's easier for you to adopt to this, and then you can read a plugin by yourself, you can write a plugin by yourself. So if you can review Swift code, you can review a plugin as well. So the barrier to entry is nothing here. You can straight away jump in and create a Swift package plugin. With that said, we talked about build tool plugins versus command tool plugin. So every time you're creating a plugin, ensure, do I have to run it in every build? Then go with build tool. Otherwise, go with a command tool plugin. So that's the decision you make based on what you want. And then finally, as we talked, AI and plugins are untribals. I mean, we can still use AI for judgment and then use plugins for deterministic output. Okay, so we can compose them together and probably make the best use of both the worlds. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you all for listening, and I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. So please feel to drop in questions in the chat window or unmute and ask. All right, before we take questions, if there's anything that you were able to resonate with today's talk, I would love to stay connected. So you can follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter at the handles on the screen. You can see. And if you all want to discuss anything on the plugins, iOS architecture, or anything in general with respect to Swift, we talked about today, send a connection request or follow and mention probably Swift Bangalore so I can know where you're coming from. Yeah. And also the code which I've used for today's demo, it will be on my GitHub soon. So drop me a message. I'll be sending the link directly. Yeah, I'm open to questions.
Hi, Kaveri, Akshay this side. So, thank you very much for giving this talk. This is great. I agree. There will be a confusion whether to use this Swift plugin versus AI, but yeah, it depends on use case.
Yep.
And one more thing that I want to, so basically this Swift build plug. Sorry, I can hear my echo. Okay. So one thing I want to understand.
One moment. I'll just a second. I'll mute and unmute. Yes, Akshay, you can go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. So one question I have. So mainly Swift plugins will be used in case I'm trying to build something which is used inside my Swift code,
Right.
right? Nothing else. I mean, in terms of use cases that if we look at it,
Yeah.
if we want to build some auto-generated code that you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it might need some additional tools like any third-party tool, for example, Sourcery or Swift Code Gen is available, but
Mm-hmm.
previously
Yep.
people used to use Sourcery. So it
Mm.
needs to download it, then you need to create that Sourcery file, then pass it as an argument. Do you still think we can use Sourcery for and Swift plugins to build our auto-generated code? Or
Uh,
yeah,
mhm,
or maybe a simple target in Xcode, which
mhm.
will be which will be invoked as a pre-build in the pre-build section, so that every time user tries to build a app target, it will consider that tools plugin. Let's say we name it as a tools. Uh,
Mhm.
it will be executed first, which will run the same command that we are planning to run as a part of this Swift plugin or command line plugin.
Well, okay, I'll take your second question in some time. But you're saying if you want to um use a
Invoke a
plugin
third
within
party
a
tool.
plugin, right? So
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to use some third party plugin, well, directly you cannot use it. At least I am not aware of if you can use it directly. I don't think it will allow it to you. But then your executable can shell out to let's say if Swift package some other commands if needed. So with that you can use it. But with directly whether you will be able to use it or not, I'm not sure on this. Probably I'll have to check on this. Yeah. And coming to your second question, can you please repeat the second question? Because yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the second question is like we have one option which is build plugin, right? The
Mm.
second option that I can think of, in Xcode we create app targets, right?
Yes.
Similarly, you can create a target which
Yeah.
will simply invoke a shell script, maybe,
Yes. Huh.
which will that shell script will invoke my sourcery tool or the third party tool by
Mm.
passing all the
Mm.
required parameters,
Yeah.
and it will run as a part of your build process always.
Mm.
That will automatically pass that argument, invoke that tool,
Mm.
or
Mm.
do the required operation here. Let's say it will
Yep.
auto-generate your Swift files or auto-generate your models, whatever it is, and it
Yep.
will be part of your compiled sources files.
Yes. Well, yes, you can still integrate with the scripts. I think initially when I started the talk, we talked about the scripts, and traditionally we were using scripts until we had this Swift package plugin, right? This was introduced with 5.6 in 2022. So you can still use it, but as I mentioned, there are pros and cons with both. With the scripts, it's kind of like invisible in the repo, and your teammates might forget to run it. For example, if you are using shell script with makefile, right? So your teammates might forget to run it. For instance, if you're using it as a build tool plugin, I'm not talking about command tool plugin here. For example, if you're using it for linting or etc., so that can be one situation there. And one is your shell script is tied to one project, right? So whenever you want some new project, or you're creating a module within your project, you have to add your shell script there. Whereas these plugins, or you can just copy paste. That is also one option. You can just copy paste across repos. But then when you're using Swift package plugins in specific, I think you know the rules and standards. Or as a iOS developer or as a Swift developer, I can read through and understand what exactly is written. If I'm not wrong, shell script most of the time they're not written in the Swift language. So yeah, someone who is coming from Swift background might face difficulty in understanding the shell scripts. So
Yeah, but your Swift plugin will be still a part of your repo,
yes,
right?
yeah,
That package.swift file won't be shared with new repository by default, right? You
yes,
have to ultimately copy that dot plugin
mm,
manifest in new
mm,
package.swift manifest.
mm, mm.
So if we miss that or if we don't add it, then ultimately we are facing the same issue that we are facing with the shell script.
Right.
That you forget to run that, or you need to go and identify, okay, this shell script needs to be executed before we actually run my project.
Yes, yes, totally. As I said, both the situations are quite the same. Even when you are writing the shell script, you have to manually add it whenever you are creating the project, or let's say whenever you want to run particular script, you can add it either in your machine, or you can add it in the repo. That's the same thing with the Swift package plugin as well. So I don't deny the fact that there's some kind of manual task in both, but then my main point was someone who is coming from the Swift background, he or she would be more comfortable in reading the Swift file, right? Instead of reading some alien language.
Yeah, makes sense. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the question. Wow, we have a poll now. Okay.
I think poll needs check boxes instead of radio buttons.
Let me quickly check if there are any questions in the chat window. I can see one question. JSON file was added to your project, so is it required to be the file there to work this plugin? No, not necessary. So this was just for my demo. I just wanted to show the file along with the output. That's the reason I added my JSON file within the folder. Otherwise, you can even in the command, if you have just a JSON string, you can directly add the JSON string instead of file. That is one option. And also, if there is if you have a JSON file sitting outside your source file, you can give the path to your input file and also path to your output file. So yeah, hope that answers your question. And sorry, I'm not able to see the previous questions, but if there are any, please feel to drop the questions again in the chat window. Maybe I can answer them.
So yeah, thank you so much, Kaveri. This is a really great session. So we have given insights about Swift package plugin, and also you provided the example along with the Swift package manager. Is really helpful. And for others, if you have any questions, you can contact to Kaveri Patil. So he is available in LinkedIn and Twitter. Yeah. And I like the way you mention about the AI comparison with the AI, and we can also compose them with the AI tools. So it will be really helpful. So let me share my screen. Yeah. Thanks again, Kaveri Patil. So it is a really good session we had. So since we discussed more about the Swift packages, so now I would like to hand over the rest of the session to Kiti Priya. She's a senior iOS engineer. So
Yeah, thank you, Sabapati. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So, before we move ahead, I would like to thank both Ratnesh and Kaveri for wonderful and informative sessions in the respective topics. So, I would also like to quickly confirm if everyone did participate in the poll, and Nayan has also put in the link for the survey. So, I would request everyone to take out couple minutes to respond to the survey so that we get, suggestions and feedback to improve ourselves and make our meetups more better. Yes, so with that said, I think we are done with the technical talks for the day. Let's quickly have a brief on Swift Bangalore, who we are and how has our growth been throughout the years. So, as you all, I'm sure everybody is aware that this is a Apple developers community, which was founded in 2014. Yeah. Yes. So, Swift Bangalore, yes, it did take little time and lot of efforts from the teammates because it is not easy to organize events every month. Balancing professional, personal lives, and also working so hard to put in your passion come together. So, Swift Bangalore was founded in 2014, and we have organized more than 50 plus meetups with around 4,000 plus developers attending these meetups. So, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the venue sponsors. Here are a few that I mentioned for sponsoring us. Yeah. And with this, we would also like to make a request on, if you know anyone who, if any of your companies are willing to sponsor us, please get in touch with any of our organizers for the same. Yeah. And with that said, yeah, so this is the entire core team that has put in a lot of efforts organizing these events. So initially I would like to thank Nayan for guiding the team in the right direction and all the core team members for putting in a lot of effort. And we do have a community patrons who have consistently given it to our community, and they have been a back support for us. Thank you so much. And I would like to request Nayan to take forward with the 2026 roadmap. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kirtipya. Thanks a lot, everyone. I will not take much time. Hope I'm audible. Let me quickly share my screen. Sabapati, am I audible?
Yeah, you are
Okay,
audible.
thank you. Let's see if I can quickly share my screen. Yeah, Sabapati, is it possible for you to share? Because looks like Zoom is
Yeah.
asking me to quit.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Can you able to see? Yes.
Yes, I can. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. So, basically now we are expanding our vision. Why? Because Swift is no more just, because of iOS or Apple ecosystem. We are also moving towards the server. And if you might have seen the swift.org, there we are talking about embedded also, and slowly going, towards the place where, we can also build the Android, app. So we want to include couple of talks and couple of session regarding same, and if any one of you are interested in giving such talk or session, please let us know. We want to do the meetups regularly, as Kirtipia mentioned. We are also doing a WWDC watch party, IWD, which is International Women's Day. We did it last month, and thanks a lot for the support from the community, and also from Apple Developer Center. As far as the learning in concern, we are planning for a boot camp. Also, we are also planning for advanced Swift, server-side Swift, embedded and Android. So just stay tuned with our LinkedIn page. I mean, we are active on almost all the platform, but LinkedIn, we are kind of, relatively more active. Next slide, please. So recently, some of our core team member have started, another opportunity where people come together for a particular place or a cafe, and we also kind of build some app together, and they also share those demo lives. Probably you might be seeing some of them on a LinkedIn or a Twitter, sorry, X. Also, we are starting our open source initiative. I mean, from long time we were kind of saying that we will do it, but we are planning to do hands-on session on the 9th of May. This will be in-person session based out of Bangalore. If any one of you are from Bangalore, please reach out to us. We will send you the invite. As of now, we have decided to make it as a very close event. Reason because a couple of things. We need people who are seriously interested. So when I talk about open source means, what we are going to do is we are going to pick a bug or issues from the swift.org or swift line. Probably you might be aware of it. It is available on the GitHub. There is a repo from a swift. There we will pick couple of issue and see if we are able to solve it or not. So we have a Priya. She basically kind of regularly was contributing to it. Regularly she was contributing to it, and she is going to help us with this initiative. We can move to the next slide, Sabapati. Yeah, so as usual, we take a help from many companies where they help us host the venue, so that we will continue to do it. Last year we did two event at two different university. One is a CMRIT and another is a Christ. So definitely we will continue. And also now we are reaching out to other communities. For example, Figma, friend of Figma, and other design community where we can come together, like Swift plus design, and can do something. So those initiatives are also in pipeline. I mean, we are in a month of April, so definitely we have another let's say 8 months. So we will slowly do. Just again, as I mentioned, please stay tuned with our LinkedIn. You will see all these announcements coming soon. Yeah, and to grow, we are always looking for people who can volunteer. We are looking for people who can manage our different social media accounts. We are looking for people who can look for a speaker and so on. And also we need, so please be in touch with us if you feel that you want to contribute, you want to help the community grow. Next. And as I mentioned, we again last month we did a International Women's Day event, and this year we are also kind of thinking that at least we will try to add one woman speaker, so that it's more about inclusion. And also we talk about accessibility, how you implement this accessibility features in your app. So that is also on the agenda. Next. Yeah, so this is the goal, very simple. We want to be India's #1 community, and then move to the global level, and we want to get recognized as a at an international platform. I believe that's it. So let's come together and build it. Kirtipriya, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nayan. So here are a few clips from the previous events that were organized with support of CMRIT and Christ universities in January 2026. Yeah. And this was a meetup organized in Meesho in February. And this was the International Women's Day celebration at Apple Developer Center. So these are the QR codes which I would request everyone to scan in order to follow us on different social platforms. Yeah, a few more clips from the meetups here. So here we have Arima Jain, who is part of Swift community, who won the Swift Student Challenge 2026 and who is one of the distinguished winners. So, yes, I would request everyone to be prepared for a group photo. If you all can, just turn on your cameras and we can take a group photo.
Yeah, can you please turn on your camera for a group photo?
Done.
You are talking on mute.
Sabati, we can't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So I'll create a breakout rooms so we can. It will be in different rooms. You can participate and you can interact with the others and build the networking and share your experience. Yeah. Thank you each and everyone for joining us. So we will catch up in the next month meetup. Okay. For now, thank you. Signing off. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Good day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, thanks a lot everyone for joining. Thanks Kaveri for a talk. Really appreciate. Thank you. I think we can close our session. I think most of the people left. Thank you.
Thank
See you.
you. Have a good
Yes.
evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.